And I am happy that tomorrow I'll be appearing before the Budget Committee to further those proposals. And on Friday, I'll be appearing before the Finance Committee. But Honorable Speaker, I also find it unfortunate the earlier assertions in regards to the letter I wrote in terms of recalling Parliament. Honorable Speaker, as all of us know, as Kenyans know, the role of the Member of Parliament as to when they actually deposit the letter to the relevant office. It's not my responsibility to look for the holder of the office. He could be chairing a meeting in Bugoma, for example, for a political party, or any other Honorable Speaker. It's not my role to look for them. And I say so because this issue went to the media way after I raised it. And Honorable Speaker, it is not my responsibility to call office holders to come back to the office and check the communication from various members.
Member for Kiharu, please do not challenge the Speaker's ruling. Okay. Be careful to just use your minutes to prosecute your issue. The
second thing, Honorable Speaker, that I want to raise, we now have a government that has been swallowed by the opposition, and the other way around, an opposition that is in government. We have leadership on both sides, on the government and the opposition, singing the same choir, Honorable Speaker. Who will stand in for Kenya's Honorable Speaker if we don't fill up the gap, Honorable Speaker? We must do what we must, Honorable Speaker, because the current situation...
Order, Member for Kiharu. Honorable Member for Suna
Speaker,
East. What is out of order?
What's out of order, Madam Speaker, is I want to educate my younger brother that there is no opposition in Parliament. What we have in Parliament is majority side and minority side. And every member, in accordance with the Constitution, is supposed to hold the executive accountable. You don't expect the minority to do, you don't have to be a minority to hold the government accountable. Even the majority where you belong, that is why nowadays you are talking the way you are talking.
You've made your point,
so, Madam Speaker, no, let me finish.
Madam Speaker, the second order, it is more of a point of information, not point of order. What is out of order?
The manner in which the member has spoken about how to call for a special sitting of the House. Madam Speaker, that matter is well articulated in the standing orders.
That
you
has
can form
been
your
dealt
own standing
with.
order.
Members, honorable members, the Speaker already gave a ruling, and the member for Kiharu has been guided accordingly because that issue has been dealt with. Honorable Karoli, there is no one on the floor. You cannot be possibly on a point of order. Member for Kiharu.
Honorable Speaker, I want to request Honorable Junet. An ignorant member cannot inform the House. I need no information from you. I know what I'm talking about. Honorable Speaker, the second point.
Honorable members.
Honorable Speaker.
Can we debate in decorum, honorable members?
I never asked for any information.
In decorum. There is no one on the floor so far. Honorable members, I'll indulge honorable member for Magarini, but honorable members, let us debate in decorum. It is important. I will give you. And you do not need to throw words to the Speaker. Honorable members, I can hear you. Member for Magarini.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker,
cannot possibly call a member.
I'm not eating it to my time, Honorable Speaker. The second thing, Honorable Speaker.
Member Kiharu first.
Yeah. I'm doing my submissions, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, and I hope those minutes are not eating it to my time, Honorable Speaker. The second thing, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Kiharu.
I want to...
Member for Kiharu, a point of order has been raised on you calling a member ignorant. I certainly agree with the honorable member that you cannot possibly call a member ignorant. So I will ask you to, please don't assist me, honorable members. Do not assist me. Honorable member for Kiharu, the specific issue on ignorant, you will withdraw it.
Honorable Speaker, I never called any member ignorant. I said the information he was giving me was not sufficient enough to be an information, Honorable Speaker.
I'll give majority leader, then I'll give a minority whip.
Honorable Speaker,
I'll give you.
Honorable Speaker, you know, I had retreated to my office to attend to other business, but I had to come back quickly when I had the member for Kiharu cast aspersions on the person of the Speaker. Because you do not need to name anybody by name. But what you say could be casting aspersions, and I thank you, Honorable Speaker, because you guided the member that he cannot and he must never cast aspersions on the Speaker or any other honorable member. Two, Honorable Speaker, the issue raised by the minority leader was not you can rise on a point of information to inform the member who is on his feet. The member for Kiharu was not being informed. The leader of minority stood on a point of order and was speaking to the House. Therefore, the member for Kiharu has no choice other than to withdraw that reference, and he does not need to have mentioned a name, because if you ask for respect, you must also have the temerity to respect other people.
You have made your point,
Nyoro. And I know you are my younger brother. Listen to my advice. I'm only advising you. If you want to go far, learn to respect other people to earn your respect back.
You do not.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying, Honorable Speaker, through you to the member for Kiharu. When another member raises in his place to inform the House on anything, whether it's on a point of order or a point of information, just be patient. The member for Kiharu this afternoon asked the House that we must, something I agree with him fully, we must allow dissenting opinions. That is why this is a chamber for debate. This is not a church where we sing choruses. But saying the person who was informing is ignorant, or is... The Honorable Junet was not informing you. Junet informs more serious legislators.
You have made your point, Millie.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro has indicated that he did not use the word ignorant. And I think you can prove that from the House. Even when you are disagreeing with other members, you must disagree respectfully. Because, Madam Speaker, there's a lot that we can say if we were to go that direction. Madam Speaker, if Honorable Ndindi remembers when we were in the Budget Committee, I told him, wade carefully in this House. One day you might find yourself not as the chair of budget and with me as the chair of budget before this parliament ends. Mr. Speaker, the only wrong thing I got was it's not me who's chair of budget, but he's sitting as non-chair of budget, and Atandi is the chair of budget. So I just want to encourage you, my brother, we've been there, done that, got a t-shirt. Even when you are debating, respect other honorable members. And Madam Speaker would call that we check. If indeed he called Honorable Junet ignorant, he needs to apologize so that is purged. Because his constituents did not elect him because he's ignorant. That's not up to
No
Honorable
member is
Ndindi.
ignorant. I'm with you, Honorable Millie. Junet?
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, first, this is a house of record. I stood up. Somebody is telling me that the oil of Kenya does not pass through the port of the Strait of Hormuz. When have you become an escort of a ship coming to Kenya? That you know now it doesn't pass Hormuz, it passes Hormuz, it passes I don't know which country. My friends, the fact of the matter is we are not an oil producing company. Neither even do we have a refinery like Nigeria. We buy from international market. And even today, you know, people who don't watch international news also, who don't watch what is happening globally, have a problem. Even there is a problem of fuel in the United States of America that is producing fuel. Let us not lie to Kenyans. Let us not incite them. Let us come with a solution that can help them. Madam Speaker, one of the solutions I want to propose, I don't want to be, you know, general like my colleagues. This transport industry that has been affected heavily by the fuel prices, Madam Speaker, majority of them have loans that they pay. They have borrowed from banks. Just like the COVID time, we need to speak to the financial, you know, companies, the banks, to freeze their interest for the time being, to freeze their loans, so that there is nothing to rely on. I'm not a conman like you, Bana. You are Bana, keep quiet, Bana. I don't want to engage you.
Honorable Junet, focus.
Madam Speaker, it is high time we allow the matatus. And you know, I have come to realize Kenyans need to diversify even in these matatu things. Because there are people who have used it politically of late, I can see. We allow the matatu industry to be, the financial companies, the banks, to allow the matatu industries to give them moratorium in terms of payments of their interest and loans. Madam Speaker, if we are truly leaders, as we call ourselves, let us not come here to posture politically. Let us give solutions that can advance the country, that can make our country better, that can make our country look good. Madam Speaker, it's not, I don't benefit in any way by paying higher prices for fuel. It doesn't pay, it doesn't, I'm actually in the transport industry, I'm suffering.
You've made your point, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to support this motion. And Honorable Speaker, as I begin, as I said earlier, this is a time that calls for leadership. The easiest thing for us to do as politicians is political posturing, saying and speaking to the gallery, saying all manner of pleasantries that we think will excite our supporters, and that which sounds good to the people, but may not be true. And I say that, Honorable Speaker, because when we make proposals here, as members of parliament, we must not make proposals that simply speaks to the gallery. And that is what I see with some of our colleagues, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is the house that is charged with the responsibility of making budgets. And we all know, including those of us like myself, who have had the privilege to serve as chairman of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, and I speak this from a point of authority, Speaker, because I served for 2 years, almost 2 years, before I was fired, as the chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Honorable Speaker, you remember then the Honorable Junet saying that even as we fire Honorable Ichungw'ah, he was the best chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee. And my record still speaks for itself, Honorable Speaker. And never a time when I served as chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, after I was removed, unfairly so, Honorable Speaker, there is not a single moment I stood on the floor of this House to speak against matters that I had prosecuted as a chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Never. And I will never do that, because I make conscious decisions as a leader. I don't make decisions to excite and please people out there to praise you as the greatest of all times. You may think you are the greatest of all times as you move around with lecture notes, only to come and realize it ends up in premium tiers when the people discover you are lying to them. Because when you tell us that we can reduce VAT, we can do away with VAT, you know, as a member of this House, that whatever you give, something else must give in. It will translate either to reduced capitation for our secondary school and primary school students. It will translate to either lower funding for our university students. It will translate to lower budgetary allocations for our healthcare workers and our healthcare system. It will translate to a slowdown of our economy, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, even as we make proposals, Honorable Speaker, I want to identify myself with some of the proposals that have been made by the Honorable Junet, that it is possible, and I liked what the governor for Nairobi said in the press conference last week, that it is possible to plead, because these are not normal times. During the COVID pandemic, our financial services sector came up and rose to the occasion and extended moratoriums on loans to people who are affected by the COVID pandemic. This is such a time. There is no other sector in this country that is making more money in terms of profits than the financial services sector, and I'm speaking to banks and the bank owners. If you are able to extend moratoriums on interest and penalties for late payment of loans to those in the hospitality sector who are confronted with the pandemic in 2019-2020, it is possible today for our banking sector to extend the same moratorium to our transport sector players. And I'm not talking about matatus alone and buses. I'm talking about truck owners and truck drivers who transport goods, including the food we eat in Nairobi and other urban areas from our rural areas. They need a reprieve. Many of these people, we must empathize with them because they have taken up loans to buy the assets that they are using, and we must ask and urge the financial services sector, our banks, to extend a moratorium on interest like they did during the COVID pandemic, because this is wartime. And wartime economies cannot operate the same way as peacetime economies operate. I've had a member here pretend, oh, global oil prices per barrel were lower in 2022 than they are today. True. But be honest as a leader. Tell the people that what you tell them, that Saudi oil never goes through the Strait of Hormuz, is a plain lie. In Saudi, to the east, take their oil, most of them, almost 80 to 90% of the oil fields in Saudi take their crude oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Number two, be honest. Tell the Kenyan people, it is true, cost per barrel in 2022 was lower, but what is affecting us as a country is that we do not have an oil refinery. We killed Changamwe Oil Refinery in the earlier years, before this administration, in the Kibaki days. But today, Honorable Speaker, we import not crude oil. So if crude oil per barrel is cheaper, ask yourself, where do you refine your oil? If you are refining your oil, for instance, in Bahrain, the oil refinery in Bahrain was bombed. What does that do to the cost of the refined fuel that we import, because we import refined fuel into this country? Therefore, Honorable Speaker, what should this motion be doing? This motion is not an opportunity for people to come and posture here, wannabe opposition leaders, like those who are attempting to interrupt me now. Honorable Speaker, they have not the merit to listen to the truth, because the truth stands firm, Honorable
Order,
Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, there's nothing that I've said that is out of order.
Honorable Karoli,
Yes,
what is
Honorable
out
Speaker,
of order?
I don't think the Honorable Member is not in order to mislead not just the House, but the nation.
What is out of order?
His explanation that the closure of the Kenya petroleum refineries has led to increase in the cost of fuel in Kenya. It is the opposite. Kenya, when we had the KPRL, was importing 70% white
Honorable
oil.
Karoli.
So it is
Honorable,
wrong.
order,
It is wrong.
order.
What is trying,
I am trying to also listen to you. I had you debate and you gave your point of view. Allow the honorable member to also debate. Unless something is totally out of order.
Thank you,
Go
Honorable
on,
Speaker,
Honorable
for the protection,
Majority
because
Leader.
the member is on debate and he had his time. If he can just have the temerity and the patience to listen to me, educate him a bit, just a bit. I may not have the ability to educate him on everything. But Honorable Speaker, I was talking about the price of crude oil. We do not import crude oil into this country. We import refined product or processed product, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, if we have seen refineries being bombed, what does that tell you in simple economics, in the law of demand and supply, Honorable Speaker? We have been told, Honorable Speaker, oh, the price of oil in Ethiopia is much lower. I must thank Citizen TV and the journalist called Alex Chamwada. They did a very good piece showing us as the people of Kenya how fortunate we are that we entered into the G2G arrangement that ensures today we are not short of supply. Honorable Speaker, if we wanted to be populist, it is very easy. Cut down the supply of diesel, for instance. If you are consuming 2 million liters of diesel in a day, cut it by half. Use what we have been told as a fuel subsidy. You have so many billions of subsidy. Use that money to subsidize a lower supply of fuel. And that is what many people are doing today. That is why you will see queues and queues, long queues of vehicles.
What is out of
because
order?
they are chasing a smaller amount of product.
Honorable Nyoro, what is out of order?
My point of order, Honorable Speaker, is on the honesty that we need to debate, to have in this debate. That you are very quick to give examples of Ethiopia and Burundi when it's convenient. Why can't we use the examples that are there of a country like Uganda,
Member
which
for
transports
Kiharu.
fuel through Kenya?
Order. Member for Kiharu, I heard Honorable Karoli give examples and their points of debates. Allow members to give examples as they deem fit to fit their
Honorable
submission.
Speaker, thank you again, Honorable Speaker. I told you these people have no patience because the truth at times becomes very bitter and painful. But let me take you to Uganda, Honorable Speaker, because that is the point I was on. It is possible for us, if you wanted to be populist today, to cut down the supply of diesel, for instance, use the resources, because you subsidize fuel per liter. Therefore, if you are subsidizing, say, 2 million liters of diesel being consumed every day, just cut supply by half to 50%, then do what they are doing in some countries. Make the fuel very cheap, but unavailable. What does that do to our economy? Those are the questions we need to be asking ourselves as leaders. Because I can stand here, Honorable Speaker, and pontificate all manner of goodies and sweet nothings, but they will not help this economy. What we need to look at is how do we chew gum and scale the stairs at the same time, Honorable Speaker.